Hey, Future Frost here. Before you watch any further, this video is a part 2 of sorts of my Tiltkin origin explanation video. If you haven't watched that yet, go watch that really quick and then come back, or you're not really going to have any idea what I'm talking about here. I would do the whole subscribe pitch, but you've probably seen the other video if you were listening to this. Always make it quick, just subscribe and all, thanks. Alright, with that out of the way, let's hop into how the alcohol system works in this origin data pack. I'll be going through this pretty quickly, otherwise this video would be like an hour long. If you have any more in-depth questions, feel free to hop over to my Discord server, link will be in the description. Starting with the base framework of the alcohol system, the player can have 3 alcohols active at once. When the player drinks alcohol, a timer will start, making the current effects last for 5 minutes. If the player drinks another, it will reset this timer to 5 minutes again, making previous alcohols also last for this extended time. It is important to note that the player cannot drink duplicates of alcohol and cannot drink a 4th alcohol. Again, the player can have 3 alcohols active at once. These slots can be seen in the origin menu, along with your current drunkenness state. Your drunkenness state is determined by how much alcohol you have consumed. With no alcohol active, you will be sober. With 1 active, you'll be tipsy. With 2 active, you'll be drunk. With 3 active, you'll be set to the blackout level. When the timer I mentioned earlier runs out, you will enter the hungover state, and all of your current alcohols will be deactivated. Sleeping will also skip past this timer and make you hungover. The hungover state will last for 1 minute. On top of these timers, if you die, you will be set to sober again. Similarly to dying, if you drink milk, you can clear all current alcohol effects, even hangovers, though you will receive the sour stomach debuff, making you receive hunger for 15 seconds that cannot be cured by drinking more milk. Now, with how this state system works established, we can move on to what these states actually do. When sober, you will find yourself with no special effects, same as playing the game vanilla. Starting with the tipsy state is where things get a little more complicated. You will find yourself randomly putting out particles and making hiccup sounds. You will find that the nausea effect creeps in and out to imitate a weaker version of the nausea effect. The effect doesn't have time to start up fully, so the distortion is not as strong as usual. And the last effect of the tipsy state is that the player will kind of drift around slightly. You'll understand when you play the pack. Moving on to the next state, drunk. The drunk state is very similar to the tipsy state, just with heightened effects. You will output particles and hiccups more frequently, and the particles will be a different color. The nausea effect will creep in for slightly longer before fading back out, making the distortion just slightly stronger. Lastly, the player will drift around more frequently. Alright, that is drunk finished, now on to blackout. This state is also very similar to the states I just listed, but with stronger effects and a few new ones added. First off, you will produce particles and hiccups even more frequently, again with the particles being a different color. The nausea effect will creep in for even longer before fading back out, making the distortion again slightly stronger. And of course, the player will now drift around even more frequently. Now for the new effects of this state. When holding an item, whenever you left click or right click, there is a 5% chance to drop the item. Your movement will be mirrored, and as a side product of this, to prevent the player from being able to sprint backwards, you just cannot sprint at all. At complete random, a black overlay will be placed onto the screen for 3 seconds, partially blocking your vision. If this really bothers you, technically you can get around it by hiding your HUD. Now with all the drunk states done, we have hungover. While hungover, your movement will be heavily slowed, your health will be slightly lowered, and a white overlay will be placed onto your screen when in light levels greater than 10. Alright, that is the alcohol framework system completely finished. Now for the actual alcohols themselves and their effects. I won't be listing the recipes here in this video as they're fairly straightforward and I just don't really have time for it. You can find the recipes on the Modrinth page and in-game in the advancement screen. I will note that there is no order to the ingredients. Throw them in whatever order you like, it doesn't matter. Alright, here are the alcohols. Starting with apple cider. Golden heart, +2 armor points when holding any form of farming product. Harvest's bounty. Eating restores +2 hunger and grants +20% movement speed for 30 seconds. Sun-kissed vigor. Health regenerates when exposed to the sun. Sweet scent. Bees will attempt to attack you automatically. Up next we have Cactus Tequila. First modifier on this is Bandit's Defiance. Attacks deal +2 damage and burn targets. Dune Strider, 50% faster movement in hot biomes like deserts. Prickly Aura. When not in the Tilted Tavern, damage all nearby targets passively. Next alcohol, Carrot 1. Earthen Resilience. Gain 1 armor toughness when standing on dirt, grass, or farmland. Note, this is armor toughness, not armor. If you don't know what that is, it's related to the extra effects netherite armor gives. Look it up if you need to. Luminous Sight, basically just night vision. Rabbit's Grace, +1 block jump height, -1 point of fall damage. Hollow Burrow Hunger, increased hunger drain. Next alcohol, Chorus Fruit Liqueur. Chorus Resonance, attacks will also damage 1 nearby entity for 1 damage. Echoing Evasion, 10% chance for incoming damage to be ignored. Fractured Momentum, teleport to the block you are looking at every 10 seconds. The Watchers, Enderman will attack you automatically. Next alcohol, Dandelion Gin. Pollen's Grace, +1 block jump height, -1 point of fall damage. Solar Flare, blind nearby entities for 2 seconds if damaged below half health. Venom's Kiss, attacks poison enemies for 3 seconds. Insects Grudge, spiders and silverfish deal increased damage. Next alcohol, Dragon's Breath Brandy. Cinder Tongue, sneak to shoot out fire, lighting blocks and entities on fire. Scorched Hide, immune to fire damage. Worm's Heart, attacks light enemies on fire. Thirst of the Pyre, take damage when touching water or rain. Next alcohol, Ghastly Gin. Chill of the Departed, immune to fire damage. Wraith's Whisper, 10% chance for incoming damage to be ignored. Next alcohol, Gilded Absinthe. Ambrosial Sip, food restores +4 hunger. Gilded Resilience, +10 health. Sun-Kissed Flesh, health regenerates when exposed to the sun. Midas's Folly, move 25% slower. Next alcohol, Glowberry Champagne. Firework Blood, blind nearby entities for 2 seconds when damaged. Starlight Sip, night vision. Firework Belly, periodically release fireworks that explode immediately. Next alcohol, Honey Mead. Ambrosial Aura, nearby non-hostile entities receive regeneration. Hive's Blessing, bees will be completely passive, even when hit or apple cider is active. Honeyed Words, receive Hero of the Village effect. Honeyed Sloth, sprinting is disabled. Next alcohol, Magma Mead. Molten Momentum, 50% faster movement. Netherforged Skin, immune to fire damage. Scorched Presence, mobs that are attacked or attack you are set on fire. Nether's Claim, when you die, you explode. Nether Wart Rum, Blighted Strikes, attacks inflict withering. Fortress Scent, any entities that you may come across in the Nether will be passive while in the Nether. Wither's Endurance, +10 health while in the Nether. Hollowing, take damage when not in the Nether. Next alcohol, Phantom Gin. Phantom's Gaze, night vision. Phantom's Grace, 50% faster movement at night. Spectre's Grasp, attacks inflict levitation. Sleepless Debt, cannot sleep. Next alcohol, Potato Vodka. Glacial Numbness, take 30% less damage. Miner's Resolve, 50% faster mining speed. Swing First, Think Never, +4 attack damage. Reversal, take damage upon killing an entity. Next alcohol, Pufferfish Punch. Nimble Float, +1 block jump height, -1 point of fall damage. Venom's Kiss, attacks poison enemies for 3 seconds. Water Adaptation, infinite air bubbles while in water. Toxin Tremors, increased hunger drain. Next alcohol, Pumpkin Spice Liqueur. Moonlit Brew, 50% faster movement at night. Moonlit Vigor, deal 50% more damage at night. Spiced Blood, immune to fire damage. Sugar Crash, increased hunger drain. Next alcohol, Redstone Rum. Energy Surge, hunger does not drain, great for countering many of the hunger draining debuffs alcohol apply. Overclocked Reflexes, 50% faster mining speed. Overclocked Sight, night vision. Jittery Hands, the direction you are facing jitters around slightly. similar to the movement drift from the alcohol framework system, but for your mouse movement instead. Next alcohol, Slimeball shots. Skyward Strike. Deal 20% more damage while in the air. Slime Launched. +1 block jump height, -1 point of fall damage. Ground Penalty. Slower movement while on the ground. Next alcohol, Sweet Berry Wine. Berry Blessed. Eating glow or sweet berries grants +4 hunger and 5 seconds of speed. Fool's Glow. Night vision and glowing effect. Stolen Kiss. Attacks inflict weakness. First Heartbreak, -4 health. Last alcohol, Wheat Beer. Earthy Resilience. Take 30% less damage. Harvest's Stamina. Hunger does not drain, great for countering many of the hunger-draining debuffs alcohol apply. Village Favor. Receive Hero of the Village effect. Plowman's Burden. Sprinting is disabled. Alright, that took a while. This one is going to suck to edit. That's all I've got for this video though. I hope it's not a complete flop and it's actually watchable, but if you have any questions, feel free to ask either in the comments here on YouTube or over on my Discord server. Preferably over on my Discord server, I'm more likely to answer you there, but I would also really like for you to comment here on YouTube. It helps out a lot in the algorithm and all that. I'm gonna go rest my voice for a bit. I'll see you all next time.